Morning, Mike.
Good morning.
How are you today?
I'm pretty good, but I'm a little disturbed by Courtney's willingness to eat Domino's pizza.
Yep.
It's really, I'm all for, to quote a Wiggyism, anything that tickles your fanny, but Domino's just doesn't do it for me.
Well, you clearly haven't had it since 2010 when they
No, I
changed
haven't
their
had
recipe.
it at all, and I don't plan to have it ever again. But I do have a story about Little Caesars Pizza. Do you know that it was founded by Mike Ilitch, who owns the Detroit Red Wings?
Right.
Hockey-related story.
And the Tigers, I think.
And the Tigers, too. And when Brad Park was here, he was a free agent, and they tickled his fanny with the offer of a free agent ball of cash. Plus, included in that was 2 Little Caesar pizza franchises.
Oh.
Which is, that would make it interesting for you.
Yeah.
And one more Mike Ilitch story is like, Rosa Parks left Montgomery after her civil disobedience and moved to Detroit. And she actually got mugged in one of the places that she was living. And a friend heard about it, moved her to someplace safe, and Mike Ilitch paid for her apartment for the rest of her life.
Really?
Wow.
That's pretty interesting. I like Detroit. I've been there one time. I thought it was a cool little city. Everything's right downtown.
And those 2 franchises for Brad Park would be worth a lot of money.
Yeah.
Today.
I think they folded.
It's like, well, all right. Well, it's like the guys who took their salary in the NFL in crypto. They finally have made some money.
Right.
Yeah, they better cash out right now before it
Odell Beckham and the other
crashes
guy.
again.
Yeah. OBJ.
Yeah, and the offensive lineman.
How much is like one Bitcoin right now?
It's $105,500 as of last night. So
you guys get it? I don't get it.
No,
I don't get it.
either.
Like, how much did people buy? Like, how much did they pay for one?
Some people, like your friend and mine, S Carp, was in there for like 15 G's on the Bitcoin.
Nice return.
So,
Yeah.
it's a pretty good return. But I mean,
it's like the lineman. I think he put like $6 million of it and ended up getting what?
Well, I mean, if he still has it, then if he didn't sell out at some point.
Well, I don't think he did sell out. I think he was able to get like either 12 or 20 million, something along those lines.
All right, listen, Mike, you get the comeback win in St. Louis. I don't know if you can. I can't figure out what this Bruins team is right now. What is this team?
No, and nobody saw this coming except for Nostradamus. I mean, Andrew Raycroft. Like he's telling the people that they're going to come back in the third period, and I don't know why. The previous game in Ottawa, when it was 2-2, they hadn't had a shot in 25 minutes, and they're the worst third period in the team going into worst third period team in the league going into the St. Louis game, and surprisingly, amazingly, and just what they needed perhaps was a come from behind win. And but there's still not a lot to get excited about. I mean, both sides of the special teams are iffy. You like that Pasternak broke his scoreless streak. He hadn't scored, I think, in 6-7 games. And it came with a price with Hampus Lindholm going down. I don't know what happened there. It looks to me like they call it weeks on the shelf. Probably cracked something or broke something in there. I know you're not supposed to speculate, but why not? But it's a win that puts them a game over 500. The holes are still there. Their problems don't go away with a win like that, but maybe it changes their mindset. Maybe they get a little more excited and they get some jump for it. We'll see against a pretty good Dallas team tonight.
They were 0 again, power play in St. Louis. Wiggy was asking this question the other day. So what do you do to fix that?
Well, probably different personnel, and they did that. They put Lindholm on the point on the power play until he got hurt. But what it effectively did was, flick the switch in McAvoy's mind to shoot the puck a little bit more. I mean, he can shoot it. He can shoot it like hell. I mean, Montgomery made the comment after the game the other night that if he could shoot it like that, he'd shoot it all the time. And I don't know why different people have the mindset to dish the puck as opposed to shooting it, but there's so much more effectiveness that goes into shooting the puck, making people turn and look where it is, and people get free. It's just, but if you're not going to shoot the puck from the point, you're not going to have much luck on the power play.
Mike, one of the things that I don't understand is we heard Montgomery criticize Pasta about his turnovers, but when you do look at the power play a lot of the time, it seems like between the neutral zone, it's like they allow Pasta to carry the puck into the zone. So I don't get you're criticizing a guy for turning the puck over, but then you have him be like your main guy to bring the puck through the neutral zone into kind of like into the scoring zone.
Well, that's an excellent point. I mean, he can skate pretty well, so they think that the speed of entry is one of the most important criteria. They drop the puck back late. It's a same old story for most teams, but that guy that gets the puck late has to be flying, and he has to be able to, take advantage of the gap that's created by that sort of drop pass situation. But you also have to be aware that, if you run out of real estate, you're going to have to place the puck in an area where you can retrieve it. And I'm not sure Pasta has that aspect of the game down.
Mike, we haven't talked to you since Allmark made his return, leaving the Garden with a win. What do you say to people that say, well, did the Bruins make the right decision sending him out and keeping Swayman?
Go home. Have a nap. That's what I'd say. I mean, it's ridiculous. The kid, Swayman is much younger. I mean, good for Allmark if he plays well in Ottawa. That's fine. But they couldn't afford to have both of them. I think Swayman has the better disposition. I wish they had just given him the money right off the bat. I don't know if that's weighing on his mind at all. And he should probably step away from the microphone a little more quickly than he's doing lately. He's got a little too much to say. But anyway, I think he's going to be a terrific goaltender for a long time. And
so he's 4-5. No concern about that. It's too early.
No, well, the team's 8-7. They're in the same boat. I don't think they've played well defensively. They gave up a couple power play goals. Did you see the 2 tap-ins the other night? I mean, there's standing off to the side of the net unattended, and there's not anything any goaltender could do with that. And I think a lot of the goals that he's given up, most of the goals he's given up, I can sort of analyze. And there's been some stinkers, and I think maybe he was a little shaken up by all the stuff around his contract, and maybe taking a little while to get back on track. But I don't have much doubt about him being a steady top line contributor going down the line.
Mike, the people that know hockey far better than I, that list is long, but Kevin Paul DuPont in the Globe, there's been the people that have been around the team the longest have been relatively the loudest when it comes to Monty and his future with the team. Do you believe that he is going to be here at the end of the year? And if the Bruins are standing behind him, why wouldn't they do what the Red Sox did and extend him so he has a little more credibility in the dressing room?
That's a good question. I think we did talk about that a couple of weeks ago. It would have been interesting to see. I've been in that situation before where coach, we gave him a 3-year contract to start his tenure in New York. And at the middle of the second year, we weren't playing very well. And the owner said to me, pick up his option on the 3rd year so he feels comfortable. And we did. Unfortunately, he came in at the end of the 2nd year and asked for more a contract extension, and we had to let him go.
You probably threw a shoe at him.
Yeah, but anyway, it was an interesting play. It spoke to me that there was some doubt about his ability to do certain things within the organization, notably advance further in the playoffs. But, we talked about this too, that they got beat by Florida both years, and Florida is one of the cream of the crop teams in the league right now. So, and I don't think you can look at the Bruins and say they're cream of the crop. They're not. They just don't have the personnel to contend with some of the better teams. And I don't know. It's a difficult position in which to assess a coach.
They don't have the personnel, or the personnel is not executing the way they should.
Well, I don't think they have the person. Okay, right now the first line is Lindholm, Pasternak, and Marchand. Give me the next 3. The top 6 forwards. We always talk about top 6 forwards. Who's in that?
I feel like your guy Charlie Coyle's been.
No, he's not. He's a 3rd-line player. Stop. And he's a great 3rd-line player, and I love Charlie Coyle's style. I think he's terrific. Pavel Zacha is not a 2nd-line player. He's been given plenty of opportunity, but they don't have any other choice. So if you're asking me, I'm telling you, no, they don't have enough depth at the key personnel in order to be considered a really, contending team.
So they're back like they used to be when they had the Bergeron, Pasta, and Marchand line. That was it.
Yeah,
top
until they get Krejci back, and then there was a viable second line, and they still had to piece things together there. But they're going to play Dallas tonight. And Dallas picked up this kid Logan Stankoven. He's only like 5'8", but he was a surprise. He's a second-round draft pick. That's what the Bruins need to do. They need to find some surprises in their draft roster. And right now, their surprises are unsurprising. I mean, they're not able to pick off some of these. And they've given away a lot of, in fairness to their scouting staff, they've given away an awful lot of their high draft picks in order to see if they could grab the brass ring, but it hasn't worked.
Mike, when do you make the decision, right? If you're the Bruins, if front office is saying to themselves behind the scenes, Montgomery has to get to the Eastern Conference Finals, but if nobody believes that, when do you make the decision to move on from the guy? Do you wait for the playoffs, or do you maybe try to shake it up and move on from him middle of the season?
If the conversation comes around to, has he lost the team, I guess, and really what that means is, do they look uninspired? Do they look like they're sort of confused or disinterested or dispirited, whatever the terminology is that you want to go by? That has never, when the team gets to that standpoint and it goes for, let's call it a month, and it looks like it's not coming out of it, you really don't have any choice. Even if the personnel isn't there, you're still selling tickets to fans, especially in this town, and for decades, the byword has been hard work. It's not always been a Stanley Cup, but there's always been hard work, and it's mostly been visible. But if you lose that, you've lost your franchise identity, and then you have to clearly make a change and maybe address not only the coaching issue, but take a look in the personnel mirror.
Mike, what are your thoughts on sending Matthew Poitras down to Providence? Do you like that move to get him some time to kind of grow a little bit here?
You know what? He only had a handful of points. I mean, he looked like he made some things happen, but how long do you go to that well? And the Bruins needed some wins, and it looked like he needed some seasoning. I just don't want them to see them go up and down like a yo-yo. I think that's deadly. So I can't disagree with it. He wasn't that productive. I'm disappointed for him, disappointed that Lysell hasn't stepped up. They needed a guy like that to be a surprise, as I talked about, but it hasn't happened. So I can't second guess them on that. He needed to do more in order to secure a spot here, and he didn't.
There was a time that Razor was calling him Bergeron 2.0, I believe.
Well, he's not 100% right in all these things, is he?
All right, Mike Milbury, always a pleasure, and we will talk to you again next week.
You got it. See ya.
All right, there's Mike Milbury.